you know, it's been sad, you know, like you can, I saw it kind of ramp up. I mean, the minute that we switched labels, you know, we were on Deaf American, it was a small label, you know, we were by far the biggest band on that label. And our boundaries were pretty well established, you know what I mean? Like you just don't come around, here's the record, do what you do, you know, figure it out, that kind of shit. So when we, you know, switched to Columbia, and which was part of Sony at the time, I saw the whole infrastructure, and it was just all these putzes, you know, these guys that could have worked at IBM, you know, they could have worked at Coca-Cola, but somehow, and just the ego and the hubris. I mean, you know, we were always brought up to think like, oh, rock guys, they're just these ego fucking assholes, and they're a problem, and blah blah blah. And I remember going to meetings at the Sony building in New York, and these little bands are like out there waving for cabs, but these fucking executives had cars circling the building for them 24 hours a day. And these guys are flying on private jets, and the bands are struggling to get in a fucking van and drive. And I'm like, man, fuck you people. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason this building exists is because of those small bands that are on the ground. Those guys you're you know, ripping these people off. And it's always been the way, but it's kind of ramped up. And it was this really crazy corporate culture that I saw. And then, you know, when those type of people are telling you the type of music you need to write, you know what I mean? Sure. Then things turn to shit. So, you know, the amount of time, and it's almost like a relationship, you know, if you get into a relationship thinking that you can change the person that you're getting into the relationship with, the relationship's not going to work. Right. So these fucking dudes would sign these bands and then immediately make them change who they were. Well, why did you sign them in the first place? And then by changing them who they were, or telling them how to write these songs, the band would lose their identity, and then it became really kind of insincere. And so then you have a whole mess of these elements of how people started writing music and songs for the sake of money and commerce instead of for the sake of art and expression. And there's been, it seems like a concerted effort in the world through, you know, through corporate sort of structure, especially in America. I mean, I don't know how it is over here, but that these people are kind of around trying to, you know, no, don't, you know, people are stupid, just dumb it down, dumb it down, dumb it down, you know. Well, it's like, well, if people are stupid, then why did the Beatles sell so many records? Because those were pretty far out records. Right. You know, they took a huge portion of their audience and went somewhere. Or why did Bob Dylan sell so many records? He's not singing about Pop-Tarts or toaster ovens. You know what I mean? And you can kind of go down the line and you look at these artists, and then you look at the contribution they made to the world. You know what I mean? Like